Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In today's topic, I'm going to cover about if-else statements in Java. In the last or in the control statements session in the Java, I have already covered the different types of control statements. In that we have seen decision making, loop statement and jump statement. So as I said there, we will discuss all the statements in detail. So let's start with the decision making statements from this session, and this is in this topic I'm going to cover about if-else statement. So let's start about if-else statement, which is a part of obviously control statement. So Java if-else statement. This statement is used to test the condition. So when I say the condition, that means I'm giving any condition. If that is get satisfied, then only I will do the thing. Otherwise, I will not do anything. Take the real life example. If I want to go to party, then my condition is if I have a party wear, then only I will go to the party. Okay, so obviously the answer will be yes or no. If I have a party wear, then I will go, otherwise no. Yes or no, so that yes or no, it depending on the condition whether I have the party wear, correct? So in the similar manner, this concept is applies in if else statements. It evaluates boolean condition which returns either true or false. As I said, yes or no means yes is true, no means false. Okay, so it used to test the condition, and that condiction evaluates or returns true or false. So Java provides various types of if statement in Java. First we have if statement. It only contains a if block. Okay, it executes the if block if the condition is true. So how we write the block or if block, that we will see in the next slide. Then if else state, it executes if block if condition is true, otherwise else block will be executed. So here we have two blocks, if block and else block. Then third we have if else if ladder. Why it is known as if else if ladder? Because here we are giving multiple if conditions. In the above two only we have given if, only one if, but in if else if ladder we will give multiple if conditions. So we will see how to give the multiple conditions and all. Okay, but just remember it execute one condition from that multiple if conditions. And the fourth we have nested if. So by the name suggest, one if contains in another if, so it represents if block within another if block. So obviously we will have a concept like outer if, and in that outer if we have the inner if. So here the inner if block condition execute only if the outer block condition is true, correct? So let's see one by one all these four type of if statements with example. So first we have if statement. As I said, only it has a if block. So it executes that if block if condition is true. And the syntax will be, we have to write if word in small letter, then in bracket we have to write condition, open brace, we have to write the code which is to be executed if and only if this condition is true, and then close braces. So this is a, you can say, if body from open brace to from this open brace to this close curly braces, and it contains the number of statements. Okay, and that will get execute if this condition evaluates true, otherwise it will not go here. Let's see quickly one example. Okay, so I have already created a one class if here I will explain a program to check if the number is divisible by 2 or not. Let's check that with if statement how we can write. I will create one variable integer x. Now I want to check if this number is divisible by 2, okay, or not. So what I will do is, if any number is divisible by 2, how it will be checked? X modulo, I mean that number modulo by 2 equal to 0. So what does this mean? If the remainder of this is 0, then it is a divisible by 2. Okay, so then only we can say if the number is divisible by 2 or not. If it returns the division remainder. And if this gets satisfied, then what I have to write? X is a even number, correct? And if not, then obviously it will not, it will be the odd number. But for now, we want to see only if block, correct? Now let's initialize this by 10. Okay. So as per the syntax, we have given if block. This is only one block. If statement contains only one if block condition, and if this condition evaluates true, then this will get executed. Let's see. Let's run by the Java program and let's see how it what it gives. Yes, x even number. So that means 10 is a divisible by 2. Let's make 15. What it happens? Nothing will come because else is not there, or some part is not there for which this condition is getting false. So in the next if statement, what we have a else part. Okay, so as we saw there, we have only if block. In if else statement, we have another block, that is a else block, correct? So what is if else statement? Is execute the if block if the condition is true, otherwise else block will be executed. So how will be the syntax? The syntax will be if condition as same as above, and then we have to write just else. Why else? Or when else will get executed? When this condition returns false. So it's very simple. If will get execute if this condition return true, otherwise it will execute else block, correct? Let's see that example. Let me write else over here itself. Else. Okay, we have to give keyword else, and then again open and curly braces, and this time it will be odd number, correct? Let's see. Now 15, it will be an odd number, and let's check with again 10, it will be a even number. So understood like how if and else will executed. So this is all about if else. Let's go ahead and check what is if else if ladder. So as I said in the previous example, in the previous if statements, if statement and if else statement, we give only one if condition. But in the if else if ladder statement, we can give multiple if. So it execute, so it has a more than one condition, correct? So it execute one condition from multiple if statement. So syntax will be like this: if condition one, okay, the first if condition with obviously condition one and its code. Then we can give second if condition. But please note, we have to write else if, the keyword else and if. Okay, it will be written as else if, second if condition. Okay, then similarly we can write condition 3, else if condition 3. Okay, and so on. You can write multiple else if, and lastly I can write else. So what does this mean? It execute one condition from multiple if statements. So we have these three conditions. Okay, if it gets satisfied, then this will get executed, other will be ignored. Okay, if it doesn't get executed, or if it returns false, it will come and check the second condition. If it's true, it will be executed, others will be ignored. Again, if this will be false, it will become in condition 3. If this gets satisfied, if this returns true, then third condition and the code of that if statement will get executed, otherwise it will come final else. Suppose we have 3 and then we have else, then it will come to final else, and obviously this condition will be executed if none of the above condition gets satisfied. So you can see multiple if, so that's why it is also known as if else if ladder. Let's see this with example. Okay, suppose in this particular example, what I need to do is I need to give a grades based on the marks. So here I have written the requirement, what I exactly, or the logic, what I need to do. So program to give grade based on the marks. If test score is greater than or equal to 19, then I will give A grade. If test score is between 80 and 19, B grade, 70 to 80 between C grade, and if test score is less than 17, then it's treated as a fail. Then so I have understood the requirement. So guys, please note one thing. Whenever you write any program, please understand what exactly you need to do, then only write the program. So I have understood that this is a logic I need to build. So I will create a one variable integer test score, okay, and I'll start writing if else. So what I need to do is, if this test score is greater than or equal to 90, okay, then it will be a grade, correct? So what I'll do is, here I'll write system out, sys out, this will get an A grade, correct? Then what are we have to write? Multiple if with else if, right? Else if the test score is greater than this time 80, okay, and test score is what? Less than 90, correct? For this I'll give B grade, correct? Similarly, I can write one more else if. This time it will be 70 and, oh sorry, here it will be 90. And then finally I have write one else where I'll give fail. So this is a small program I have written for if else ladder. Let's give this test score as 90. As I said, like it will be treated as a grade. So let's see if this condition gets satisfied, then A grade should be populated. So if you observe, if A grade is populated, I mean if this condition gets satisfied, it will go here, rest will be ignored. So you cannot see like B grade, C grade or fail. So other than first if, none of the other if gets executed, right? It will not get executed. Now let's take example, or let's change this by giving 60 or 70. Okay, this time what should be? It should be C grade. And let's give 50, it should be fail, correct? So this is an example of if else. Okay, if none of the condition gets satisfied, it will go to last else and the output will be fail. Here we have given multiple if and with more than one condition in if. So here I have used this logical operators and operator. Okay, so please go through my session operators in Java so that you will get to know about this. Now the last we have nested if else. By the name suggest what is a nested. Okay, one if is inside another if. So it represents the if block inside the another if block. So both the blocks are if only, but one if is inside the another if. So the inner if block condition execute only when outer if block condition is true. Correct? That is obvious, right? Because see, let me explain with this syntax. This is the outer if with condition, open curly braces. So this is the if body. If this condition is satisfied, then it will go this, which has some code and another if. Okay, so this is known as a outer if and this is known as a inner if. This inner if will execute it if and only if this outer gets condition is true. Okay, and this inner, when cursor goes in the inner if statement, if this statement gets condition evaluates to true, then it will go and execute the inner code of if statement. Okay, let's see with example. For this example, I have explained like program to check eligibility of for the exam based on the age. Uh, so for a specific exam, the age should be between 18 and 25, and that TOEFL test score should be greater than 80. I have understood the program logic, what I need to do. So I'll take two variables. Okay, let's say integer is equal to 20 and then again integer test score. Now let's apply the condition with if. How if? So this will be the outer if. Here I can write age, correct? Age greater than equal to what we need is 18 between 25 and 18, right? So 18 and operator we need to use, and the age is less than or equal to 25. Correct. Let's write the code inside if, and as I said we will write if inside if, but when it will go inside when these two condition evaluate to true. So as I explained in the operator session, this and if left hand side and right hand sides both evaluates to true, this becomes true, conditions evaluates to true, and then it will go to inside of this. Okay, here I can write one if, and now test score. What the eligibility is, it should be greater than 80, and then maybe I can write, you know, you are eligible for the exam if both are true or both evaluates to true. Correct. So uh, maybe, maybe I can write greater than or equal to 18. Okay. So let's see, if age is 20 and if I give test score as 80, what happens? It should go inside. Okay. See, if age is 20, okay, let's see, age is greater than 18. Yes, this becomes true. And is 20 less than or equal to 20, 25? Yes, this is also true. This also true. Both are true. So this condition evaluates to true. Then it will go to inside of this if loop and it will execute the body. The body contains if else statement. Okay, this is known as a inner if statement, and this is nothing but the outer if statement. Now it will check test score greater than or equal to 80. Okay, if 80 yes is equal to 80, then it will go inside this and it will execute inner if statement. Okay, so this is how this else is executed. Okay, and let's check if age is, let's see, 15, what it happens. The outer loop will get the outer if statement will evaluates to false, because is 15 greater than or equal to 18? No, this become false. Is 15 less than or equal to 25? Yes, but false and true becomes false. Outer if statement will get will evaluates to false, so it will not go in inner if statement. Let's check the output. Obviously it will not return anything because it will not go inside. Let's check about 25. Yes, it will go because 25 we have written equal to 25, okay, which is greater than 18 and less than or equal to 25, and score is 80. Let's check if test score is 70. The inner will not get executed, the outer loop will executed. Okay, maybe I can see here, say here I'm in the outer if, I'm in the outer if statement. So we it can have to visible us like we are in the outer loop, but inner loop, it will not go to inner loop because test score is 17 and 17 is not greater than 80. This is all about if statements in Java. So let me repeat once again what we saw here is, in this session we saw control statement, I mean this if else statement, which is basically a decision making statement, and it's actually a control statement because it controls the flow of the Java code. Correct. And we have four types of if statement: only block, if and else block, if else if blocks, okay, and then nested if blocks. So I hope you have understood the differentiation between all these four. Let me know in the comment section if you have any question. Thank you so much.